our meetings. CF carrier testing is important in a way because you then also explore your feeling about if you should have this high, you tend to land on being a higher risk if your partner should be a carrier, because I think it's important to explore those feelings before you venture into having your own children. And as you know, that 1 in 25 Caucasian will carry a CFTR mutation, so it is not that uncommon that you may run into a CF partner that who also is a carrier of CF mutation. But rest be sure that when we test carrier testing, we're really only testing against 39 most common mutations. But with that testing, it would be enough to estimate the risk, because the other mutations are being found every day. I remember when I first started my job, there was only 400 mutations known to me at that time, but now we're looking at 1,700 and more mutations. So even if we test it all, by next year you might miss 1 or 2. So it's not worth going through the entire panel that people would have very rare mutations that you may not even have. So once you test against that 39, most importantly to realize that it would put you in a very educated low or definite risk, but it is not 100% prove that you are not carrier. But I think that's probably good enough. 2% risk for infant who not having parent did not do carrier testing. But once you did the carrier testing, if your partner happened to be a non-carrier, the risk is now dropped to 1 in 500. So that's probably a lot of time actually comforting enough for a lot of young couple to start planning. But if the carrier happened to be if the partner happened to be a carrier, you're looking at a 50% chance. So I draw these two diagrams just to show you. At the start, you have to remember that you need 1 abnormal mutation from each parent. So you have to have 2 abnormal CF mutation you have to have 2 CF mutation, to have CF. So in the scenario on the left, as you can see that if the square represents the male, does not carry any CF mutation, so he have normal mutation, normal CF1 gene, normal CF2 gene, then he marry a young woman or have decided to form a family with a young woman who has CF, which is represented by the dark yellow or orange color with the label of mutation A and mutation B. As you can see that you have to get 1 of each from each parent. If the father has nothing abnormal to give, it's almost impossible to have 2 mutations pair up to create someone with CF. So as you can see, all the children from this couple, for every pregnancy, chances are they would only be carriers. For instance, 1 normal A gene will couple with a normal 1 gene will couple with the abnormal A gene from mom, or 1 gene will couple with the abnormal B gene, and so on and so on. So it's not possible to have a child with CF. If you look at the right side of this picture, you can see that if the young man happened to be someone who's living with cystic fibrosis and have a partner who is also a carrier, meaning 1 normal gene and 1 CF mutation, now you can see that mother can also offer 1 abnormal gene, and there's a good chance that the C gene can couple with A. Together, mutation A and C will give a chance of cystic fibrosis, and or mutation B and C will also combine and have with creating a child who has cystic fibrosis. And so the chances is really 50-50 if your partner is a carrier and you are living with cystic fibrosis. So I think a lot of it most important before we talk about another slide is just to explore your feeling about it. The options can change if you happen to have a chance of having a child 50-50 to have CF. But that's okay with that. You have the information to plan. If you have a CF child, you might have to think about changing your tactic and maybe work less because your child would have more doctor's appointments, or you have to spend more time caring for that child.